I know you're probably gonna see this later, but I'm about to head to class. It's currently 9 o'clock, so class starts in an hour. I just had my biggest day trading win of my career ever, and it's not even close. Not even close. I don't know what's going on in the month of February, but I cannot stop winning, and the wins are just fat. So I'll catch you guys at the end of the video when I start talking about it, but pretty gnarly, pretty gnarly. Let's get it. Just got out of class. I'm about to skedaddle home and show you guys this damn trade. I was looking at it all throughout class and I just could not stop thinking about how ridiculous it was. So yeah, I'm gonna put some Bad Bunny on the radio, party my way home, show you guys this damn trade. Yay! Ugh. All right, it's time I start talking about the elephant, the big green elephant in the room. Just to give you guys a little bit of context, woke up today with a 56.25% chance to go down. We opened we opened basically at the first deviation of weekly VWAP. That means puts. A retraction down to the VWAP as well as a combined probability that favors put contracts this morning. So we enter our 2-hour binary option trade with no fixed outcome. We bought opening contracts for $27 and waited 2 hours. Lots of times I don't look at the screen. Lots of times I'll shut the laptop off, go make breakfast, do some errands, maybe like do some laundry, a chore or something. Those $27 contracts in 2 exact hours turned into $489 contracts. That's $462 in profit per contract and a 1,700% win on the trade as a whole. These types of trades are basically what makes it all worth it. This is beaten the largest trade that we've ever had by nearly 1,000%, and it's just absolutely surreal. Yeah, I can't really put it into words. Because the trading model and the trading strategy and the way I trade is boring. And so seeing these types of outcomes, it kind of is just, it's a black sheep in a sea of white. And at the end of the day, it's still a sheep. This win alone, just today's win alone, basically sets out a whole month of trading capital, which is pretty insane. This puts a lot of our win averages and our day of the week averages for Thursdays and, largest win, smallest loss. This puts a lot of our metrics, a little bit off to the scale, to the right a lot. And to be honest, I shouldn't be worried about it because these types of trades happen way more often than you think. Lots of times when I take a 95% loss or 93% loss, if I were to take the other side of it, it would have been an outcome like this. It would have been an outcome between the likes of 800 to 2,000% profit, which is pretty insane. The trade today was the largest win that we've ever had so far by miles. And it is exactly why I thought of a 2-hour binary trade instead of a 2-hour binary that's fixed. Is because when you're playing fixed outcomes, lots of times it's the most you can lose is 100%, the most you can win is 100%, except the user interface is really easy. This is the exact same thing, except you have theta decay and you have to manually enter the trade. And the most you can lose is actually, 100%, but lots of times you don't actually lose 100%. You lose anywhere between the likes of 50 to 90%, which is really nice. Now the most you can win, obviously, I talk about it in my videos and I talk about it in my TikToks and Instagrams, is that the most you can lose on an option trade is 100%. The most you could win is, well, you'll see. And this is an example of, you'll see, 1,700% profit. Pretty insane. I'm just looking at, the tracking that I have for the performance, and it's just like, it's standing out by so much. It makes it look insane. The month of February has been absolutely ridiculously winning. We've only had 9 trading days in the whole entire month so far, at least, and we've only had 3 wins. 6 wins, 3 losses. That's a 66% win rate, significantly above the, historical average of 36%. So it's, I'm expecting to lose, but when days like these happen, it's like, what the hell? I'm not losing. And I had a couple videos ago, it was like, oh, I'm on a hot streak. And then I, had an 82% loss, and I'm like, all right, the hot streak's over. And it's like, it feels like it's just never ended. So it's a pretty insane stat to look at. So it's a really cool number. And yeah, that's the trade. Insane trade. But lots of times, you see a trading video and you see a YouTuber and you're like, oh, he talks about, the fair value gaps and the supplies and demands and liquidity sweeps and all that. This isn't that. If you came to a trading video and I'm new to you, this isn't that. I literally, I trade very boringly. And for those that, don't know how I trade, I'm going to talk to you guys because you might be confused as to how I ended up with the decision making I had a while ago, around in June is when I finished it, but in March is when I started it. I scraped TradingView data and I just put it all into one big Excel file. This is, the dates, the highs, the lows of the 2 hours, the fully open trading day, where we lie above, the VWAPs in terms of, above or below, if we're above the 9 or the 20 EMA, the yearly VWAP line, the size of the gap created in post-market and aftermarket, the magnitude of the gap, if it's a large gap or a small gap to the upside, to the downside. I literally just put it all into one big ass Excel file, currently at 1,030 days, 31 including today. And I just made pivot charts and I wanted to see the probabilities of what happened based on historical performance. And that's where the probabilities come from. It's very simple. It's very easy. It took me a while to get this data, and eventually I might sell the model as a digital product, or I might sell it as like a license to see the probabilities. But for now, it's currently mine, and I just post about why I took a trade, and almost 99% of the time it's because of that probability. Most of the time, if it's a below 60% probability, so I have to go to a weekly VWAP. Lots of the times, where we are in VWAP shows the same favored outcome as the probability would, even without looking at the weekly VWAP. So it's really cool. 1,700%, pretty insane. So yeah, that's the trade that I had today. Hopefully I didn't clickbait you in the title on something life changing, because at the end of the day, this is a very boring way to trade, but it's how I trade. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.